Hey everyone, Kristen Howe here. I am so excited for this workshop today where I am going to share with you the 7 shocking things you need to start doing right now, today, if you want to finally start living the life that you've always wanted to live. So why are the 7 things shocking? Well, it's because what I've realized, what I've discovered, this is over 15 plus years of teaching people how to be, high performance people and motivated and really get things done and have focus mastery and tune in so that you're aligned from the inside out. What I've discovered, and this was just recent that I went, wait a minute, there's all these programs, and trust me, I am a serial program user from way back. All of these programs out there, many of them are awesome, but they're all missing one piece. So if you've tried a bunch of things, if you've tried a lot of internal stuff like affirmations or visualization or dream boards, anything like that, and you just keep falling short, or if you've tried external stuff like goal setting and timelining and breaking things down so you know exactly what you need to do, like each day, each week, each month. And I even have programs that teach you how to do all of this stuff. And this is the thing that's missing. This is the thing that we all need to really get on board with, because it has to happen first. That's why it's surprising. That's why it's shocking. That's why I looked at it and I went, oh, this is what's missing. Each of these programs is assuming that you're starting off with these 7 things happening. Okay? And so we're going to take care of that today so that the 7 things actually are happening, so the things that you're doing, the great programs that you're doing for internal and external work, are actually going to be able to work for you as opposed to keep you stuck. Okay, so what I want to warn you about, because a lot of people are into this, crush it culture, right? You hear it everywhere, like crush it, and you want to go after it, and you got to just do it, and your dream should be so big it scares you, and all of that stuff. And I used to live like that. And I used to feel like I just had to get through sort of this period of time where I was crushing it and exhausting myself and only focusing on like one specific thing and all of that stuff. And it didn't work. Like, I got some results, but then I was exhausted. I was demoralized. My confidence was really low. I became overwhelmed and started procrastinating because I was too tired. I was completely depleted. So what I'm going to share with you today is basically the anti-crush it formula. And we're going to get into why the crush it culture doesn't really work as much as it claims to. And this is from my personal experience, as well as this is something that I'm helping a lot of people with when I work with people one-on-one or in my VIP or inner circle groups. A lot of times, I would say probably 8 out of 10 times, they are coming to me so we can help reframe things because they have exhausted and depleted themselves trying to do the crush it way and trying to live the crush it culture, and it just hasn't worked out for them. So I'm going to share with you what I share with them to help them reframe things and actually help them start getting the results that they want and being happy at the same time. You don't have to wait. It's not about waiting until you hit a certain age or you crush it for a certain period of time and then you can enjoy your life. You can actually enjoy your life in the process while you're doing things, while you're on the journey, okay? So that's what we're talking about today. And like I said, this is what people aren't talking about, and this is what's keeping you stuck. So this is why I need to share this with you. Okay, so here's some of what we're going to cover today. We're going to talk about how you can align your inner desires with your external results. Now, what's great about this is what I hear from a lot of people. One of the biggest roadblocks when people come to me and they're like, Kristen, I know what I need to do and I'm just not doing it for some reason or another. A lot of times what we discover is that there is a must conflict going on. In other words, they think they have to become someone that they don't want to be to have the success that they want to have. And that's actually not true. But you need to learn how to do it from the inside out and create that success. And you can do this, I promise. Create the success in a way that actually matches your core values. So the 7 things that I'm going to give you today are going to help you do exactly that. Like I said, I'm going to give you those 7 shocking things that you need to start doing right now. Now, the good news is they're simple. I keep things simple. What's that quote? I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's something to the effect of, if you want to impress people, complicate it. If you want them to actually be able to get results, simplify it. So I make everything as simple as humanly possible, simple to be effective, because what I have discovered is simple works. Okay, so I'm going to give you these 7 shocking things, but you're going to be able to implement them right away, right now. I'm also going to give you the 4-part checklist. So our brain, which contrary to popular belief, is actually here to work for us as opposed to tell us what's possible and what isn't possible. That's actually not within our brain's scope. And yet, somehow along the line, we all were taught to, listen to your head because it knows what's possible. It actually doesn't. It has a very limited scope of being. It's sort of like, a child. If you told a child, like, hey, tell me what's possible, they're only going to have a very limited scope of knowledge, of awareness of what's possible. That's similar to our brain, but we do need our brains. It serves a very vital, part of the journey, in that our brains need to get on board in order for us to take action. Our brains are really great in deciphering what kind of action to take and all of that. But again, nobody's telling you this. There is a 4-part checklist. I'm giving it to you today, so get ready to take notes. You will have this, and again, I've made it really simple. There is a 4-part checklist that is required if you want to get your brain on board, willingly taking the action that is going to move you toward the things that you want, your desired outcomes, whatever your great vision is, all of that, okay? And it's a really simple 4-part checklist that you can use, and you can use it every time you need to take action. Okay, I'm also going to give you the key to inner certainty, which is so important. If you're wanting to move forward towards the things that you desire, you have to have a certain amount of inner certainty, right? So the key to inner certainty and results that, like I said before, the crush it culture leave you wanting more, leave you actually lacking in these areas. We'll get into that. We'll dive into that big time a little bit later, so stick around for that. And then at the end, now this is big. So the 7th thing I'm going to share with you is something you can start doing right now, today, immediately, every single day, even when your life is what your life is right now, because your life has momentum. So this whole expectation that we sometimes have that we're going to wake up tomorrow morning and completely reinvent ourselves, not only is it not necessary, it's really, really difficult to do, and it's even more difficult, if not impossible, to maintain. Okay, so instead, what I'm going to give you, so this is the 7th thing that I'm giving you, and it's sort of like a daily thing that you can do, so you definitely want to stick around for this. It's one thing you can do each and every day, super simple, that guarantees you're going to be moving forward towards those things that you want, even when you have a lot of life to maintain, right? Things you need to do. Maybe you're married, maybe you have kids, maybe you have, a job that you're keeping up with, all of that stuff that you've got to do to maintain your current life, that you can't just drop and go, hey, I'm going to do something differently. I'm going to show you with this last thing, the one thing you can do each day to get both. And this is huge, okay? You're going to love it. The cool part is when you hear it, it's so simple that you're going to go, oh yeah, I can absolutely start doing that, and I can get on board, and I can really keep those commitments that I've made to myself, because in truth, that's so much of what ends up hurting our confidence, is how many promises, and I know I did this for years, how many promises we make to ourselves that we feel like we haven't kept. And so that changes today. And then at the very end, after I give you that, I'm going to talk to you about how you can go ahead and have me with you every single month, helping you keep those commitments that you make to yourself, helping you stick with what you need, helping you with focus mastery. We're going to talk about that in a second. Focus mastery is crucial. How you can become a focus master, not worry about being perfect, not having to get things all perfect and have the perfect mindset and all of that stuff. You don't have to do this right all the time. That's exactly what you're going to discover today. So I'm going to share with you at the end how you can have me personally helping you do that in a way that feels great, in a way that allows you to feel like, yes, I'm on track, again, without, committing 1,000,000 hours a week that you don't have. Okay, so that's everything we're going to cover. Now, what we need to talk about is who this is right for and who this isn't right for. So this is right for you if you are stuck, if you are exhausted and depleted from trying to crush it, right? Like if you've done that and you're just, you feel like you can't. If you are stuck in overwhelm, procrastination, if you are sick of limiting beliefs and overwhelm and procrastination running your life and keeping you stuck and keeping you exactly where you are, if you, like me, this was me years ago. I went through a period of time where some close people in my life actually got very sick. And they got sick a lot earlier than, one would expect. And they had been living their lives in a way that was sort of that thing I talked about earlier of like, if you just bear with it, if you just stick with it, eventually you're going to be able to enjoy your life. And then they got to the point where they were supposed to start enjoying their life. And they had to deal with some major, major health issues. I had another friend who had, everything that they thought was how it was going to be financially and all that, completely the rug got pulled out from under them. And so what they experienced and what I went, whoa, is that feeling of like, okay, I was doing all of this for decades, grinning and bearing it until, so that I could enjoy it when. And then it gets to that point and I'm not even able to enjoy it then. So that delayed gratification, I'm not talking about delayed gratification for like a week or two or a month. That's one thing. Sometimes you gotta really, get to work and do that. I'm talking about for years and years and years, decades. Okay? So when I started to experience that, I was like, wow, that's a lesson. Like, I don't want to do, because I was headed down that road. I was headed down that path of, I'm just going to keep hitting it hard. I'm just going to keep hitting it hard. And then I'll be able to enjoy. And so suddenly, and I was checking all these things off, like a success checklist. And then suddenly I was like, I don't think that's enough for me anymore. So if you've ever experienced that feeling where you're like, I don't want to have to trade either success or happiness. I actually want both together. That's what we're going to talk about. This is the perfect place for you. So if you're feeling any of those things, this is the perfect place for you. If you are feeling like, how do I put this? Here's how you know if this is not for you. There are a lot of people out there promising a whole bunch of transformation and change and life-changing stuff that is overnight and requires no work. It requires no action. This, if that's what you want. So it's creating this culture of people that are wanting like push button, like boom, 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 boom. And as far as I know, it doesn't work that way. You have to push your comfort zone to get results. You don't have to shatter it, right? If you've been shattering it, that's the crush it culture as well. That's probably why you've stalled out. But you have to push your comfort zone. You're going to have to do some stuff. I mean, I like to be really upfront about it. You're going to have to do some stuff. Now, I have made it as simple as possible so the stuff that you're doing isn't going to overwhelm you. So you know exactly what it is you need to do and focus on and all of that. But you're going to have to do some stuff. If you're not okay with that, this 100% is not for you. Okay, so now you know if this is for you and if it isn't for you. And so I'm assuming that you have either left or stayed accordingly. So let's go ahead and dive in. So after 15 plus, almost 20 at this point, years of coaching people to get, real results, increase their happiness, increase their revenue, increase their fulfillment, get healthier, anything that anybody might want, like increase the quality of their relationships, all of that stuff. Like I said, these are the 7 discoveries that I made. And I realized these things are missing. This is like, if you take these 7 things and put them together, this is what needs to happen before you do a single affirmation, before you do gratitude, before you do a vision board, before you visualize, before you goal set, before you take action. This is the thing that's been missing. And so that's why I'm like, I have to share this with you today. Okay, so first thing, number 1 thing, this is the most important thing, is focus. Okay, this is the jumping off point for absolutely everything. Why? Because everything begins with focus. Okay, my VIP members, I make them memorize this, which is me saying this focus phrase that will change your life if you get it and you repeat it, because what happens is it gets ingrained in you, and then you start to realize when things are going off that your focus is off. It's just a focus shift, okay? So here's the thing that I want you to learn. What you focus on in any given moment determines the experience you have in that moment. In other words, it's determining how you feel in that moment. What you focus on consistently over time determines how you're feeling in your life and the results that you're taking, because what you focus on determines how you feel, and how you feel determines the action that you take or that you don't take. And if you keep showing up for yourself and for the things that you want, or if you don't, if you throw in the towel. That's why focus is so important. Focus first. So my FAST method for focus is focused attention sparks transformation. Always remember that. Focused attention sparks transformation. Focus first, focus fast. That's what I want you to have in your head right now. Focus first, focus fast. Before you go to do anything, please make sure your focus is on something that serves you. Make sure it's in a good place. Make sure it's in a state of abundance, not lack, right? When you're feeling desperate and you try to do affirmations or gratitude or anything like that, what happens? You somehow end up feeling worse, right? That's why that stuff isn't working. When you're feeling terrible and like, I've got to fix something and I need to make something work, and you get all like this, and then you try to set goals and you try to break them down, what happens? I know, because I used to live like this all the time. It feels like whatever step you take is never going to be enough, and you're trying to fix it all in one move. It's impossible. You have to take every single step. And if you start with your focus in the right place, that changes everything. So this is why I've dedicated myself to helping you, helping everyone I come across become focus masters. Because focus matters that much. Without it, everything you do is sort of on shaky ground, right? There's no rock solid bedrock beneath it. And so it's probably going to end up toppling over. Okay? So, actually, let's go ahead. I just was looking at my notes and it said, prove how important focus is. I love that. Okay, so let's prove it. I'm going to pick something for myself. I want you to pick something that's within eyesight of you. Something in, whatever room you're in that typically you'd be like, yeah, I like that, right? That's something that I picked out. I chose it. I like it. I enjoy it. I like that I have it, whether it's decor, it could be your phone, anything, okay? Don't make it a person or an animal, a thing. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to focus on everything about it that you love. Like why you chose it in the first place. All of the amazing things that it does for you, whatever that is. Okay? So you're focusing on that. Focus on everything you love. Now you notice, how are you feeling about that thing? You're feeling pretty darn good about it, right? Okay, now I want you to look at it. I want you to look at it differently. I want you to look at it and go, okay, I know I love this thing, but if there was something that was wrong with it, like if there was something that was a little off about it or that I don't really like about it, what might it be? And then look for something else. And something else. Now how are you feeling about it? Pretty darn bad. So, here's the takeaway of this. Whatever you look for proof of, you will find, because it all exists. When you did that exercise, did the thing change? No. What you were focused on about the thing changed. This is what successful people, the people that seem to just kind of make things happen and all of that, this is what they're doing, whether they realize it or not. Sometimes people are doing it consciously, sometimes they're not. But they're controlling their focus. They're looking at the opportunity, not the obstacle. They're looking at the solution, not the problem. Got it? They're looking at what they appreciate about it, what things are going right, and how they could possibly take things even to the next level as opposed to what's wrong and what needs to be fixed. You feel that difference? Okay, so that's proving, oh, by the way, let's go ahead. I don't want to leave you there. Let's go ahead and look back at that thing again and remind yourself of why you love it. Why do you love it? What is every reason that you love it? And maybe find something new that you love about it. So that, yep, okay, good. So you're feeling good about it again. And it can be that fast. You see how quickly you can shift your focus? So this is something I call the sliding scale of success. And this will be huge for you. Really simple. When you're feeling frustrated, that's it's a sure call, or when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're wanting to procrastinate, that is literally your inner self crying out for a focus shift. So, frustration, focus shift. What's something I can focus on that feels a little better than that? Because I'm focusing on everything that's not here and that feels terrible. So what's something I could focus on that feels a little better than that? What's something I can focus on that I feel like I can do right now towards this thing? That small focus shift shifts you from going in the direction of frustration and procrastination and overwhelm, which is down, shifts you up instantly on the path of fulfillment. So those focus shifts, they're small. The sliding scale of success changes everything. That focus shift changes everything. I have never seen it fail. Anyone that's using it, I have never seen it fail. Now, sometimes at first, especially, you'll need to repeat it a lot. It's purely because that's not your habit yet. For most of us, we've been taught, focus on what's wrong, look at what's wrong, look at what isn't working, beat yourself up about it. That stuff doesn't work. It just makes you feel worse. It makes you shut down more. It makes you get more overwhelmed. So this is a new way that's going to require you being willing to make that focus shift, use that sliding scale of success a little more consistently at first. And what will happen, it will become more and more natural. Okay, as you go, as you continue doing it, as you sort of course correct and then do it again. Remember, you don't have to be perfect at this stuff. You just have to do it more often than not. You just need to be focused on things that serve you more often than you're focused on things that don't serve you. So don't go out of the gates expecting yourself to be perfect. Okay, it's going to take a minute, and that's okay, because if you're doing it even in the beginning, even if you're just doing it more often than you did before, your life is going to start to scoop up. Remember that sliding scale of success. Okay, here's a great question. Here's how you do it. Focus only on the next smallest thing you can do that is in alignment with your vision, that is on the path to that desired outcome. The next smallest thing. When you start focusing on the next smallest thing, and I'll give you the 15-minute solution in a bit, when you start focusing on the next smallest thing, you feel like you can do it. You can get on board. It's part of how you get your brain going, yeah, okay, let's do that. Let's take that action, as opposed to resisting it and all of the stuff that it normally does, where it kicks and screams. All that resistance, by the way, I normally call, I call it our inner teenager, right? So that is what, when you start focusing on the next smallest thing you can do that's in alignment with your greatest vision, or with the milestone that you're aiming toward right now, towards that vision, that's when things are going to start to change for you in a big way. Okay, time for number 2, mindset. It's the key. Mindset is absolutely the key to success. Now, here's what I hear all the time. Kristen, I don't want to worry about that mindset stuff. I'm sick of that mindset stuff. I just want to know what to do, and I want to know how to do it. All right, well, how many of you in your life, and I'm raising my hand because me, big time, raising both hands because me, really big time. How many of you have known what you need to do before, exactly what you need to do? Maybe you've got a course on it, or a program on it, or you've had some coaching on it, or you've got a book on it. You know exactly what you need to do, but you're still not doing it. What's going on then? You know what you need to do. It's your mindset. It's okay, but you've got to get your mindset on board with you. Let's look at it this way. Okay, so I heard this analogy once, and it was such a great analogy, where let's say an athlete is in the game, playing the game, it's going great. He's winning, I was just watching tennis recently. So let's say it's tennis, okay? And he's winning and it's just like he can't miss. And then suddenly it goes the other way, right? You hear it all the time. Oh, there's been a huge momentum shift, that sort of thing. And suddenly it's like he can't get the ball in. Well, what's changed? Does he suddenly not know how to play tennis? Did he just forget in a moment? No. His mindset shifted. What he was focused on shifted. Guaranteed he started focusing on how he wasn't able to get it in, or how he kept missing, or as opposed to, okay, where am I going to go? What am I going to hit? With the next point in front of him, what is the next smallest thing you can focus on, right? So mindset is key. Absolutely key. This is the thing, and I said this to you before, and it's huge. Stop trying to use gratitude, visualization, positive thinking, affirmations, etc. until you first are focused in the direction of what serves you. If you are focused on what you don't have, those things are just going to make you feel worse. You're not going to want to do them, or you're not going to be able to come up with anything you feel grateful for, or you're just going to be repeating affirmations, but sort of in an empty way. This is the thing you need to do first, the focus and the mindset first. Huge. Huge, huge, huge. This is exactly everything that I do with my VIP members, my inner circle members, one-on-one clients is all geared towards this exact thing, because it has changed my life. It has changed the life of countless other people. And like I said before, there are, millions of successful people out there that are doing this, whether they realize it or not. Okay, so just remember this, and I'm just going to read this because I love what I put here for you. Positive focus, go ahead and write this down. Positive focus comes before positive thinking, affirmations, belief shifting, etc. See, this is why most people screw up positive thinking, or why it doesn't work for them. It's because they aren't in the right state first. They aren't focused on the right thing first. Their mindset isn't in the right place first. It's all about your focus. It's all about your mindset. Okay, then, and only then, are we getting to your big vision. What a lot of people like to refer to as your big audacious goal. So there is a tipping point with your big vision that we need to discuss. This is, again, no one's bringing this stuff up. You know why? It's not sexy in an offer, right? It's not the thing that's going to get people to go, ooh, the big vision that's so exciting it scares you. That sounds really thrilling while you're, listening to the speaker or the seminar or whatever, and then you get into it and you get that big vision and you're really excited about it, and then it is only moments before that tipping point happens and you go from being so excited about it to terrified. What happens? Your brain kicks in. How am I going to do that? That's not possible. Oh my God, how am I going to? We go from vision excitement to complete overwhelm in the blink of an eye. And that overwhelm leads to complete paralysis. We have no idea what action to take. We don't even know where to begin. So please listen to me now. You are not supposed to know exactly how to get from where you are to that big, exciting vision. If you knew how to get there, you'd already be there. You just need to figure out how to get from here, where you are now, to the first milestone. That's it. Let the vision be exciting to you. Let it be big and awesome and so exciting and inspiring, because that's going to be your fuel, your motivation, your momentum. But how you keep it from tipping over to that point of paralysis, of fear, of procrastination, of overwhelm, is by then taking your focus and just putting it on the first milestone. You don't have to figure out how to get the whole journey yet. You don't have to. Like I said, if you knew, you'd be there already. You're going to discover so much of the journey is revealed as you're going. There are so many things that I started that I never would have discovered what the next natural step was had I never started. Like if I had sat there and been like, okay, I'm going to figure out all the steps first, it never would have happened. Because what I learned by reaching that first milestone, by approaching that first milestone, gave me the information I needed in order to know what the second milestone was. Otherwise, I would have been guessing if I just tried to do it ahead of time. And I would have overwhelmed myself. I would have freaked myself out. All of that stuff that we've all done. So it's okay. You're human. We all are. Remember, you don't have to be perfect at this stuff. Okay, number 4. Crush it. This is the enemy. This is the absolute enemy. It exhausts you. It demoralizes you. It depletes your energy stores. Even the phrase crush it is destructive in nature. I mean, think about that for a second. You can still take a ton of positive action without the mentality of crushing it. You don't have to crush it. You don't have to crush yourself. You don't have to wait 20 years before you can enjoy your life. Okay, so the first step with this is to let go of that crush it mentality. Allow that it's okay. You can still, we're not saying don't take action. You're going to have to take action. I started this whole thing with that. With saying, look, if you're someone that, wants to not take action, this is not the place for you. I am never going to tell you that because I don't know how to help someone without having them actually take action. But it's taking the right action. It's taking action in a way that allows you to feel good in the process. That allows you to not chop away at your confidence, but build it instead. So this is where the 15-minute solution comes in. So the 15-minute solution is literally saying to yourself, okay, and this is great when you're feeling overwhelmed, when you're procrastinating, when you're feeling particularly stuck or not confident. 15-minute solution is where it's at. What is one thing I can do in 15 minutes or less toward my desired outcome, toward my next milestone that's on the path to my big vision? What is one thing I can do in 15 minutes or less? And then do it. Don't wait. Do it. And then pat yourself on the back, celebrate that you did. Why? Because what are you doing when you do that? You're controlling your focus. You're putting your focus on what serves you. So start using the 15-minute solution today. Things are going to change. Okay? Just make sure that at least, because a lot of people have used the 15-minute solution, they love it. They've used it to get a lot of things done that they're procrastinating on, and that's great. But those aren't necessarily things that are in alignment with their greater goal. So they use it to get their maintenance stuff done that they probably sometime avoid and gets sort of, piled up on them. So that's great. That's a great way to use it. But make sure you're at least using it once a day for you for one of your bigger, toward that bigger vision, towards the first milestone or the next milestone towards that bigger vision. Okay? All right, good. So number 5, we're already on number 5. This is going great. You guys are awesome. This is your compass. It's the question. Questions are so powerful. 2 reasons. Number 1, your mind cannot ignore a question. I can ask you something. Hey, how much money do you make? And you might be like, rude, I'm not going to answer that. You might choose not to answer it out loud, but guess what your brain just did? It ran in search of the answer. Okay? So your brain cannot ignore a question. This is part of how you start to direct your brain instead of having your brain direct you. Remember, your brain is limited in scope. So you want to be directing your brain. You want to be saying, hey, here's what we're working on. Here's how we're doing it. One of the best ways to do it is by asking questions because it cannot ignore the question. The other thing I love about questions is they're open in nature. They're not finite. They're not fixed. They're not closed. Closed, this is sometimes with affirmations what happens is it's a closed statement. It's a fixed statement. It's a statement of, this. It's not open, it's closed. So sometimes we can get into resistance. Again, our inner teenager can come out and be like, well, that's not true, right? That's not true about me. Yes, I want to believe that, but that's not true, right? When we start to use questions, they're open in nature. What's one thing I could focus on? that gives me proof that there is abundance all around me is far more open and filled with opportunity, and less likely to bring up any resistance than going, opportunity surrounds me everywhere. Sometimes we might be on board with that, sometimes not. Okay, so questions are incredibly powerful. And the North Star of all questions is this supporting me, or is it not supporting me? Is this focus supportive toward where I want to go, or is it not supportive toward where I want to go? We, as I mentioned before, we have been taught, look at what's wrong. Look at what you messed up. Notice I looked over my shoulder. That's the past. Look at what you messed up. Look at what needs to be fixed. Look at where you are lacking. Now, that doesn't mean, of course, there are things that sometimes need to be fixed, right? There are things that, but looking at it from the standpoint of asking the question, going, well, does what's wrong with me, does that serve me? Is that a focus that serves me? No. So how do you do that? How do you flip that? And again, this is something I work with, my VIP members and all of that stuff, much more depth, but I'm going to give you how you can start working with it today so that you can leave with these tools, you can start using it. So how do you work with that? If you're looking at what's wrong with me, if that's a question, by the way, we're already brilliant at asking questions. We do it all the time. Things like, typically, what's wrong with me? Why did I do that? Why am I always failing? Why can't I just follow through? Even things like, why can't I be more like my brother, my mother, my parents, other people? Comparison. Why, comparison, woof, that'll take you down. So we're already brilliant at asking questions. Pat yourself on the back. I'm already good at asking questions. What do we need to do? We just need to increase the quality of your questions. If the questions are like what I just said, the what's wrong with me, why do I always do that, why can't I focus, why can't I just take action, why can't I just follow through? If those are the types of questions you're normally asking yourself, this is where you use that North Star of question and say, does this question serve me? What's a question that would serve me better? Right? So what if you're someone that's like, the normal question you ask yourself is, how come I never follow through? How come the second things get difficult, I stop? Okay, well that is a question. Remember what I said about questions, like our brain, it's open. So our brain is going to come up with as many answers as possible. So that's the problem. When we're not asking high quality questions or even better quality questions, your brain's going to keep coming up with reasons that you're terrible. Remember, whatever you look for proof of, you will find because it all exists. So that question does not serve you. Remember, the North Star of questions is, does this serve me or does it not? Anything that tears you down, anything that makes you feel badly about who you are and what you have to offer is not serving you, because it does not allow you to act at your highest and greatest power. So what do you do with that? How do you switch it? How do you switch it without running into a ton of resistance of like, well, that's not true, right? So what's something you could ask? What is something I could do that maybe would allow me to follow through just a little bit more? Or what's something I could follow through on right now? Or the 15-minute solution. What's something I could do in 15 minutes or less toward my desired outcome that I know I can do? Right there, you're already shifting the conversation. You're shifting the quality of your questions. I'm telling you, this alone, is this supportive or not, that question changes everything. Because once you start to have the awareness of, oh, that's not supportive, once you have the awareness, you can't go back. So you're always going to have that awareness from that point on, which is naturally going to begin the shift. That's something I say all the time. The awareness alone begins the shift. Okay? All right. Number 6, victory. This is the system. Okay? Here's why most great intentions fail, is because they are intentions only. Intentions are great. I encourage you to start each week and each day with solid, strong intentions. But an intention without a system to make sure it happens It's just a wish. It's sort of an empty goal. It's a hope. I hope I'll do this today. I hope I'll do this week. I hope I'll do this month. And a system, by the way, the very word system used to make me want to get up and run out of the room. Talk about inner resistance that would come up, because I thought that if I had systems, I was going to lose my freedom. And for me, freedom is the thing, right? Like, we all have something that motivates us that must be there. You know how we talked about aligning things with your values? Freedom is my thing. So I thought systems equaled no freedom, when in truth, no systems equaled no freedom. Systems equals freedom. Now, what do I mean by a system? It can be incredibly simple. A system is as simple as saying, okay, my intentions for today, my musts for today, the thing I am doing today is this in 15 minutes or less. And if you can't do it right that second, the system could be as simple as scheduling it and setting an alarm to go off on your phone so that you do it. That's the system. Because here's the thing, if what you're doing is starting to ask yourself to do things differently than you've done before, which you're going to have to do, right? You don't need to recreate yourself overnight, but if you're going to start to integrate things into your life that are different to start getting you different results, this is not your habit yet. So you can't expect yourself to remember to do it, especially when life starts coming at you, which it will. So you use a system to make sure it's going to happen. Now, this is where we come into that 4-part checklist for your brain. This is what your brain needs from you. Okay? So you go, okay, here's my intention. Here's my must for today. Your brain needs your must, your intention for the day, the week, the month, the year, whatever. It needs 4 things from you. And when you give it these 4 things, it will jump on board and be like, yes, let's go. I get it, and I'm ready to take action, and I'm not going to resist you, and I'm not going kicking and screaming. I am all in. Who doesn't want that from their brain, right? And so many of us, this is where we fall short. We make things really general. Okay, so the first thing on the checklist is specific. Let me quickly tell you what all 4 are, and then we'll get into each one a little more in depth. First thing on the checklist, specific, measurable, actionable, believable. That's the one no one's telling you. That's the one that's messing you up. No one's telling you need a system at all. They're just going, set intentions, set powerful intentions, or decide you're going to do things differently. Well, just deciding doesn't do it. Give yourself some tools, give yourself some help. You know, there's a lot of stuff that I teach, like with my VIP, I'll teach them how to sort of link actions and things like that. There's all this stuff you can do to maximize your success. But if you just get these 4 criteria, things are going to be different from you immediately, like as of now. So the first thing is be specific. So most often, what do? We set an intention, it's general. Let's say you're writing a book, or you're starting your own business, or whatever it is. But let's say you're writing your own book for purpose of an example. Most of us set an intention like this. Oh, this week, let's say you're setting your weekly intentions, which doesn't take very long, by the way. This week, this is how most people do it. This week, I need to work on my book more. Okay, that is way too general. Your brain is going to go like this. Ah! And then it's going to be like, it's going to have no idea what to do. It is begging you to go through the 4-part checklist. So, you might say to yourself, okay, this week I need to work on my book more. What is the first step? Remember, we already talked about that. That's what you do with that sliding scale of success. What is the first smallest step I can take towards this desired outcome? Okay, so you make it specific. Maybe it's, I'm going to brainstorm 20 titles. That's specific. Maybe it's, I'm going to outline the arc of the main character. I don't know. I haven't written a novel or anything. That's kind of where I was going with it. But whatever it is, make something really specific. I'm going to decide on the main theme of the book. I'm going to write, this is also specific, I'm going to write at least 500 words of chapter 1. They don't have to be perfect, just to get 500 words down. Okay? I'm going to write for 20 minutes straight. Automatic writing. I'm not even going to think about it. Like, these are all specific things. They also meet criteria number 2. It's measurable. In other words, how will you know when you've done it? Not just specific, but what is the way you will measure when you've done it? Got it? Okay, the next is actionable. Now, I will tell you, actionable tends to be taken care of when you do specific and measurable, but we just want to make sure it's something that you can actually do. It's not something that you're waiting for the stock market to turn in the right way for you to have that realized that gain. It's what is something you can do to help increase the probability of that, right? You get the idea. So it's something that is actionable for you. And then the last thing, and this is the one I want to really, really make sure you get, is it has to be believable. For your brain to get on board, it must be believable. And here's how you know what believable is. We talk about the believability barometer. When you look at it and you go, okay, well, I set this intention, I set this specific, measurable, actionable thing that I'm going to do today. Do I believe that I can do that in the time that I have given myself to do it? Now, if your answer is, there is only one answer that goes check for believable, and that's yes, absolutely. I'm going to have to do something different because I haven't been doing that up until now. But absolutely I can do that. If your answer is, oh, well, I really should be able to get that done, or I really hope so, or I'd like to be able to get that done, anything, if there is any hint of a question mark, it's no big deal. You either need to make it more specific, make it smaller, or give yourself a little longer time to do it. And sometimes you do all of that. Until it becomes believable. Until your brain goes, yes, I can do that. When are we doing it? Let's schedule it. Can we do it right now? Right? Until you feel that thing, that certainty, that's how you bump up your inner certainty. This is how you grow your confidence. This is how you grow your comfort zone. Okay, got it? So that's the 4-part checklist. Specific, measurable, actionable, believable. Start using that today for anything you're going to take action on. Get your focus in the right place first. Set up the system where you're going to do it once you decide, and schedule it, and then you're going to do it and make sure it fits that 4 criteria. The action needs to fit those 4 criteria. Then your brain is going to be on your team, ready to go. How cool is that? Okay, let's see. I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Oh yeah, this is big. Everything can't have the same priority. This is just under that action thing. When we start telling our brain that everything has the same exact priority, when we start telling our brain that everything has the same exact priority, our brain panics. It doesn't know what to do. So everything cannot have the same priority. You can have multiple things that are important to you, but in one moment of time, everything can't have the same priority. So it's also that element of, I am doing this now, this and only this. You know, what did I say in my emails to remind you to get on here? If you can, give yourself a distraction-free zone. Because when you have that singular focus in the time that you've scheduled for something, you will be able to get so much more done in that time than you would have if you had. That's how I honestly, I'm able to get, 4 times the amount that most people get done in an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. It's because I turn everything else off. The only thing I have on is the thing I'm doing. That's it. So you would do yourself a favor to realize, yes, you can have multiple high priorities in your life, but when you sit down to do one of them, do that one. The only exception in my life is like if I'm working out, I am really focused on getting a good workout, but I also probably will have some mindset stuff or some stuff that I'm learning, some specific information. Oh, which, by the way, I want to hit on that for a second. Everything I'm giving you here today is amazing. You could take all of it, transform your life quickly. But knowledge, information, doesn't teach. It informs. Action teaches. Okay, I say this to my VIP members all the time because I get on the phone with them and I give them a bunch of content just like this, just like what you're experiencing now, and it's awesome and it's stuff that they can apply and use immediately. And this is what I say to them is what I'm going to say to you right now. Take the one or two things that jumps out at you and worry about implementing those. Not worry, but you know what I mean. Put into your mind, how am I going to implement those right now? Don't sit there and freak out about how you're going to do all of it. Get the one or two things that jump out at you, the one or two things that feel easiest, that made you go, aha, I understand how I can implement that. That's your brain going, I get it, let's do that. Remember, knowledge, information does not teach, it informs. It's the action that teaches. So all of this that I'm giving you today, all of anything that you get from anyone ever, is only going to have impact when you start to use it. And when you can free yourself from that fear of, I need to be perfect, I need to fully understand it, I need to fully get it beforehand, free yourself from that, allow yourself to start trying stuff, and you're going to feel a world of different, and you're going to feel so much better about things. You're going to feel more confident. You're going to feel more excited to get moving forward. You're going to get excited to show up every day for yourself, to keep the commitments that you make to yourself. Okay, so with that in mind, it's time for number 7. Now, remember I told you I was going to give you the one thing you can do each day to start getting massive new results. This is it. It's one step. This is the commitment. You do this, you make this base level commitment to yourself for the next month, you're going to be like, whoa, you make this your new way of living, nothing is impossible. So what this means is every day you commit toward, remember everything can't have the same priority, so you're going to pick one of the things, one of the desired outcomes that you're moving toward, okay? So you're going to pick which one. Right now, for the purpose of this, for the purpose of what we're doing here together, and I'm going to tell you in a second how you can sort of have me with you along the way, but for the purpose of what we're doing here together, pick the one that feels like it will have impact on your life, but it feels the easiest to move on. So don't pick the area where you feel most stuck. Okay, we'll get there. What you want to give yourself proof of concept, and then it's going to be so much easier to jump into that. So you're going to pick that, okay? And then you are going to commit. This is the commitment. No one can make you do this. I can't make you do this. I can give you all the stuff in the world. I can give you what the commitment is. I can show up and I can help you, but I cannot make you do it. But I've made the commitment really simple because it does not take everything that the crush it culture convinces you it needs to take. It doesn't take you giving your entire life over to something. The commitment is this: each day, towards this vision that I have, towards this specific desired outcome I have, I will commit to going one step further today than I went the day before. And how do you do that? You use the 15-minute solution that I already gave you. What's one thing I can do in 15 minutes or less to move me toward this next milestone that is on my way to this vision? Every day. Yep. Even Saturdays, even Sundays. 15 minutes. That's it. That allows time for everything else. That allows time for people to need you, spouses to need you, kids to need you, weird fires to come up at work, like different things that you have to handle that you didn't expect, different things that you have to handle that you did expect. You can still move one step forward. And what does that look like at the end of 30 days? So let's say you're stuck, you're stalled out. Most people are. I was just going to sort of make that, feel better. Most people are. And at minimum, most people have one thing that they can say, yeah, I'm stuck there. I do. 100%. We all do. So when you can look at it, when you can say, okay, all I'm not trying to crack it all open by tomorrow. right? I'm not trying to save the world. All I have to do is take one step further each day than I did the day before. 30 days from now, let's say you're completely stuck and you've suddenly taken 30 specific, see what this is? Specific, measurable, actionable, believable steps. You've taken 30 of those steps forward at the end of a month. That's a short month. You have 30% growth from where you were. That exponentially starts to build. A year of that, 365% growth, not including exponential. If you haven't been getting off the starting blocks, if you haven't been able to figure out why you're not taking the action that you need to take, this is how you do it. Okay, so are you in? Are you on board? Are you like, yes, okay, I can make that commitment to myself? It's going to rewire you is what it does. It increases your comfort zone so you're able to take larger steps. It's sort of like if you're a runner, or if you start off not as a runner, you might have a shorter stride, and then as you get more comfortable and your body gets used to it and your muscles acclimate, then your stride gets longer and longer and longer. Same thing with comfort zone. It's so cool. So this is how you set yourself up. Now here's the thing. This is the objection I hear to this. This is what I used to feel. This is where I used to be like, one step, that's not enough. This is not saying that there won't be days where you take more than one step. There might be days where you take 10, 15, 20 steps. I'm not talking about those days. Everybody who is stuck is banking on those days. And the reason, this was me going up and down and up and down and up and then stuck. Stuck, 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 and up and then stuck, 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 stuck. That's because if you're living for those days when you can take all those steps, you end up doing a lot of waiting and you stall out in the process. But when you start saying, okay, even on the worst day, I'm going to take one step further that day, 15 minutes or less, I'm going to take one step further that day toward my desired outcome, toward that bigger vision, toward that first milestone that's on the way to the big vision. Then you have, that is your minimum growth. It's guaranteed. Like I have never not seen this work. So are you ready to make that commitment? One step each day. Look, if you're still here, I'm going to guess you're ready to make that commitment. So just make it. Because Band-Aid ripped off, only coming from a place of love, coming from a place of understanding, because I've been there. If you're stuck, if you've been stuck, if something's not where you want it to be, even if you haven't been stuck, but it's not where you want it to be, you're going to have to do different. And if you're someone that's been trying to move things, throw a Hail Mary, just save the kingdom every day, then maybe this is going to be the thing for you. Minimum one step. Certainly, there are going to be days where you take more. But what if suddenly you knew a day wasn't going to pass without you moving toward that goal, that milestone? How much different would that be? How much more confidence would you start to feel? How much more proud are you going to start to feel because you are finally keeping the commitment that you made to yourself, but you're able to do it without feeling like you're telling everybody else, that's it. Get out of my life. I can no longer do anything for you, right? Like somehow we all got this feeling that like if we want to have what we want to have, we have to just abandon everybody in our life, right? That's one of those big things, like, and not say yes to anybody. No, you can still say yes to things. But now you'll actually be saying yes to you as well. So are you in? Yes? Awesome. Okay, so let's talk about this. I want to explain this entire approach, these 7 steps. I like to look at, if you're still here, we're about an hour in. If you're still here, you're not like most people. Most people, they want the quick fix. They want give me the 5-minute video. And sure, those things are great too. But if you're still here, you are now part of what I call my life athletes. Okay, think about it with an athlete. What do athletes have coaches for? They have them for the technical stuff, certainly, but what do they also have them for? They wouldn't even think of not having a coach. Getting this space between their ears, working for them instead of against them. Learning how to master the focus that is going to get them the results that they want. Reminding them that it doesn't require them to be perfect. No athlete ever has to be perfect to be exceptional, to get exceptional results. So if you are still here, that means you're serious. That means you're like, yep, this makes sense. I can make these commitments. I'm ready to show up for myself. So you are one of my life athletes, and that is awesome. And I celebrate you, and I applaud you for that. And that, the life athlete concept, that whole approach, that feeling like you have the support, the how-to, but also the focus mastery, the mindset mastery, everything, all the 7 things that we talked about. The how do I keep moving forward? What is the right action for me? Please remind me to get specific and measurable, because I forgot that part. Or, oh, I'm starting to look at what's wrong again. These are all natural things. This is why we have someone there to help us see it when we don't. To help us start making those incremental shifts. It's the smallest, I heard it today, someone was talking and said sometimes the smallest hinges open the largest doors. That's exactly why you have a coach. That's why you have someone working with you. That's why I created my VIP program. Okay, so I'm going to tell you about my VIP program. If it feels right to you, then yeah, I mean, I'm going to say, hey, you know what? I'd love for you to join me, but I'm going to make it really easy for you to do that, okay? So this is how you get, first of all, the things that I give you on the VIP program. I coach you personally. In fact, you get 3 powerful touch points with me throughout the month. So I am working, you'll have me able to work with you once a month, plus you have those other 2 touch points during the months. What this allows us to avoid is what I call the seminar effect. So the seminar effect is where you're on something like this, or maybe you go to a seminar. I've done this a million times, where you go and you're like, yeah, this is awesome. And I love this, and I can apply this in my life, and I can't wait to apply this in my life. And then you leave and you're like, yeah. And then you're like, wait, what did they say? I can't remember. And then you start to feel bad about yourself, and you go over your notes, and then you start to feel overwhelmed. And that's the seminar effect. I do not want the seminar effect to happen with anyone who is working with me in any way, shape, or form. I am not interested in getting you information, getting you all excited, and then being like, okay, bye. No. So I'm going to be there. That's why I give you 3 touch points with me. One is on the high impact coaching call every single month. This is a focus mastery call every single month, much like what we've done today, where we dive into some real stuff that you can use right away, that you can take action on right away, to start transforming things, to start integrating things, to start moving your life forward in the way that you want to move it forward. So you can finally start getting the stuff, keeping those commitments that you're making to yourself. You can finally start seeing it's happening, as opposed to I'm just talking about it. So that's why I give you 3 touch points. We'll talk about what they are in a second. So there's the monthly focus mastery calls. I give you the recordings of all of those. I'll get into the importance of each of these in a second. The focus point videos, I send you a video every single month. Those are the focus point videos. You get them every single month, mid-month. There's the private Facebook group. The reason I do that, and again, I'm going to get into these in a second, is because the biggest struggle I hear from people, hands down, is that they feel alone. They feel like they are surrounded by family, friends, whatever, that don't quite get that they're not willing to settle, that they're not willing to just suck it up and endure life, that they want to actually enjoy it and feel good in the process, and not at some later date. But that they also want to get results. They feel weird. They feel cut off. Weird is a word that I get all the time. I feel weird. My family makes me feel weird. Like there's something wrong with me. Like I shouldn't expect so much, that I shouldn't want so much, that I should just settle, that I should stop hoping, that I should stop dreaming. That's why I have the community for you. That's why we have the member site for you as well. Because that community is so important. And this is a global group. You've got people around the world. The energy is so awesome. And it makes you start feeling like, not only can I do this, but I'm not weird. There are more like me. And when I'm around them, the support, the energy that I feel is massive. Okay, so let's talk about each of these things separately. I'm just pulling up my notes so I make sure I hit everything. So the high impact, the focus mastery calls, it's a coaching call every single month. It's a group coaching call that we get on where I'm going to give you content. It's over the phone, typically. That could change in the future, but right now it's over the phone, which I love because then you're not focusing on a bunch of different things. You're listening. I'm encouraging you to do that one thing that jumps out at you or the two things that jump out at you. I'm giving you specific stuff that is not just concept. It's not just theory. It's not like, ooh, make you feel good and get you amped up, but it's what can you do today to start getting better results and start feeling better about your life? How can you take focus mastery to that next level so that it serves you in every area of your life? And then what I'm doing on those calls, I will work with you personally. So you have a question. If you're on the call with me live, raise your hand. You can either type it in or you can ask it. If you're on the phone, you can ask it live. We'll sit there. We'll have like a little mini session right there. If you have follow-up questions. If you can't be on the call live, you email questions. You'll get a special email address the second you sign up, the second you join me. And that's where the questions come. They go right to me. Actually, they go to Erin, who makes sure they go to me so that nothing falls through the cracks. I will answer them on the call. So even if you're not able to be on the call, you're going to get it in the recording. So this is where you have me helping you. I'm your coach in your corner. I'm going, and I get to know you. What you'll discover very quickly is I will get to know you. I'll get to know who you are. I'll get to know where you are, where you want to go, the things that you feel like are in your way. We'll start getting serious about how to troubleshoot those things. How do we get you focused on what serves you? How do we get you doing that one step further each day in a way that's exciting to you, in a way that feels good, in a way that feels like, oh, I'm finally getting results. But not only that, I actually feel good. I'm becoming more of the person I want to be as opposed to becoming a person that I don't want to be in order to get results, right? We don't want that. We want you to be able to be the person that you want to be, and you can. And just like, this is why I call you life athletes, just like professional athletes have that coach to help them when their mindset gets off. Okay, it happens to all of us. That's what I'm there for. I am there for you in your corner. Okay? So, not only that, of course, you get the recordings of the calls. You can listen to them as much as you want. The reason that's important is, yeah, repetition. But it's also because, just as I'm sure you've experienced today, I'm going to say something that, boom, and you're like, oh, and your brain's going to go off and running and is going to get really excited about, this is how I can take action on this, but which is exactly right. That's exactly as it should be. That's great. But what happens when your brain is doing that is you haven't heard the next few things that I've said. And that's okay too. That's why you get the recordings. As well as what happens is as you progress, as you grow, as your life starts to transform, you become ready. You ever had that happen where you read something or you see something or you hear something and you go, how did I not hear that before? I so needed to hear that. Well, you didn't need to hear that then. Or you weren't ready for that information then, but you are now. So now you have the recordings. So, so important, so valuable. You have me with you for all of it. So you get the recordings, you get the monthly, the focus mastery calls. You get to work with me live on the calls. Even if you can't be live on the call, you have me answering your questions. If you want to send in multiple questions, I answer them. I am the only person I know. Doesn't mean that I'm the only person out there. I can't know everybody, but I am the only person I know of who guarantees, who promises that I will answer every single question. So most programs that you get into, you're going to get some great content, you're going to get some great ideas, get some great mindset stuff. And remember, for those, like that used to be me, mindset, who cares? I just want to know how to do this stuff. Mindset It matters. Focus first, mindset second. That's what we went through in the 7 things. But I am the only person, you get all that stuff, and a lot of times it's so much stuff that it's overwhelming to you. So I keep it simple. I keep it really concise, really compact, so that you know exactly what we're talking about. I'm not taking you in a million different directions, but I'm the only person that I know of where the interaction is guaranteed. If you need help, if you have a challenge that you're running into, if you have a roadblock, if you have a focus issue, and by the way, with focus, I'm not talking about concentration. That's part of it. I'm talking about, what are you giving your attention to? Is it serving you or isn't it? I am there for all of that. I am the only person I know of who guarantees that I am there to answer your questions. Guaranteed. Not, I have this question for Kristen and I hope she answers it. No. I 100% will answer it. And if you're in the Facebook private group, I know some people hate Facebook, that's fine. You do not have to join the group, but if you're in the Facebook group and you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it in there. That's touch point number 2. Not only that, but then you have the community. You have other people, so you realize, oh, I'm not alone. It's wow. Oh, and this person's struggling with that. Oh, I can help them with that, which increases your confidence. And then I'm struggling with this, and this person helped me with that. How cool is that? I will help you, guaranteed. You reach out for it, I will help you. That's the only thing. The only thing on you, my promise to you, is I'm going to help you. Personally, one-on-one. I'm not just going to give you pat answers. I'm going to give you personalized strategy, and I'm going to remember you, and I'm going to know, oh, this is what we were struggling with, this is what we're working towards, how's that going? You'll quickly realize that when you're with me in the group, okay? So, it is guaranteed. Oh, and the 3rd touch point, by the way, is in the member area. So, when I send you, which I'm going to talk about right now, there's a focus point video I send you mid-month. I purposefully keep this short, because I want you to be able to have, the more concentrated time with me on the Focus Mastery call. And then this is like a quick reminder to either get you back on track if you've gotten off track, or if you're on track, help you accelerate what you're doing, how it's going, just to give you a reminder of what you're focused on. That's what I'm talking about, taking out that whole seminar effect completely. Right? So we're keeping you on track. So you get those videos mid-month. You can comment on the videos. You can comment in the members area. I will be there. I will go in. I will answer your questions. So whether it's in the Facebook group, whether it's in the members area, whether it's on the calls, all 3, I will personally be there answering those questions for you. It isn't someone else. It's me. That is my promise to you. I am there with you. If you're going to show up, you're going to be a life athlete with me. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be the coach. And I take that very seriously, because this is your life. And my guess is, if you're still here, you're ready to finally have it happen. You've probably tried a million different programs. That's where I was. 20-something years ago, I had so many programs that I'd bought. And I was like, what is happening? These 7 things I gave you today, that's what was missing. When I finally learned how to do those, anything I did, any program I took on, assuming it was of, decent quality, I could get results from. Now it's going to be the same for you. You can even on the calls, like if you have any of my other programs, you can bring a question on about those. I'll work with you that way. So I truly am there with you. Okay? Then you get the recordings, then you get the monthly focus point videos in the members area, that private Facebook group where you're building a community, you're feeling part of something, you're feeling part of a group where it's like we're all looking around going, everybody looks at us like we're crazy because I want more, because I have higher expectations, because I want to actually enjoy my life and have results. I don't want to just check things off a success list. I want both. I don't want to trade. And I'm going to do it. And I know that I need to do it. But I also know that if I try to crush it, if I try to reinvent myself overnight, it's going to backfire. I'm going to get exhausted. So I'm going to do it the way that is on the minimum days, I am guaranteeing myself 1% growth. I am guaranteeing myself that one step forward. Those other days where I take huge, massive action, how cool is that? But at minimum, I'm getting 365% growth in a year. This is how you go to the next level. This is how you have the best 12 years, the best 12 months of your life, and then the best 12 months of your life after that, and then the best 12 months of your life after that. This is how you get rid of that whole, God, are my best years behind me? No, they are not. And that's what I'm committed to, dedicated to helping you discover your true greatness and bring it to light, expand into that fully. Okay, so remember, you've got those 3 touch points with me. And at this point, you're like, okay, Kristen, how much does this cost? Well, to work with me one-on-one is a minimum of $1,000, normally more than that. My inner circle, $250 a month, which is, you get unlimited email coaching with me, and I send you coaching audios sometimes every day and all that. So it's worth more than that, but still $250 a month. There are other programs like this, as I told you, where they dump a lot of information on you. And as far as I know, no one is guaranteeing that they will answer your questions. That whatever you are struggling with will be answered and addressed personally, that you will be given a personalized tip, strategy. I promise you, I will. I've been doing this program, the VIP program, since 2009. I have answered every single question that has come through to me, because that's my commitment to you, because you need someone who's there with you personally. You don't just need more info. You need to know how to apply it, and you need to know what to do when you run into, a roadblock. You need to know how to turn that roadblock into a speed bump. So Inner Circle is $47 a month, but this is where I'm making it, because you're here with me, you're the type of person, like I said, most people are like, oh, give me 5 minutes. Tell me what to do in 5 minutes. They want the quick fix. You're here. You committed to this. You're taking all this in. So I want to make that, that also tells me that you're the type of person that will thrive in this program. And that's good for both of us. Right? It does me no good to have the wrong people in the program. You are showing me you're the right type of person, that you're someone that can thrive from having me personally help you. So it's $47 a month, but I am going to give you a 1-month trial where you get everything. You are a full-fledged member for 1 full month. Get on the call with me, ask me questions, have me work with you, get in the Facebook group, get the recordings, all of that stuff. For $10. It's a $10 activation that's special just because you were here with me on this training today. That tells me something about you, so I want to do something for you to make this really easy for you. So the link for that is gobigcoach.com/VIP. gobigcoach.com/VIP. That's how you can activate that $10 trial and get going with me for that full month right away. Now, I'm also going to do something extra. First of all, I'm protecting you, 30-day money-back guarantee. You get in there, you pay your $10, you get on the call with me, ask me questions, I work with you, you download the recording, you watch the focus point video, everything. You get all of it, and you're like, no, this isn't really for me, for whatever reason. I'll give you your $10 back. So you're completely protected. I will tell you that the people that are going to get the most out of this are the people that engage with it. Now, engage doesn't necessarily, it means whatever it means for you to show up for you, that's what I mean by engage with it. Okay? But you get the full month at full membership level. Activate it just for $10. You get that whole thing. If for some reason you decide it's not a fit, no problem, no big deal. I'll give you the $10 back. Okay, so again, that link, go sign up now, gobigcoach.com/VIP. It's only going to be up for like a handful of days, I think 4 or 5 days. The reason I do that, personally, I don't love putting a timeline on things. But here's what I've discovered about human nature, me included. We have so many decisions in front of us every single day. that decision fatigue is a real thing. So if you are not aware of where to prioritize the decisions. So if I don't say, hey, this is only going to be for a few days, and obviously then I truly make it only for a few days, what happens is you go, oh, okay, that sounds awesome. I really want to do that. And it just gets put in the pile of like, I'll make a decision about that someday. So although I don't love doing that, I don't help you out because I don't give you where it is on the priority level, right? So yes, you then know. And what's cool is it helps you out in the sense that it cleans things up. You're not wondering about it. You don't keep wondering about it. It's like, okay, I have a few days to make this decision. I'm completely protected by that 30-day money-back guarantee. All right, I'm going to activate my trial. And it makes sure that's human nature. We will put something off as long as we can. We will take as much time as we need. It's a perfect example is getting ready. I'm an actress as well, doing different Broadway shows and stuff. However much time I had before the show to get ready is how much time it took, right? If something weird happened and I had 10 minutes to get ready, I would get ready in 10 minutes. If I went early and was warming up and all of that and gave myself an hour and a half, I would take an hour and a half. So it's the same thing. So by giving you a deadline, I help you go, oh, this is where this decision goes. I need to make this decision. It's your decision, but you at least know when you need to make it for. So it's only going to be open for a few days, that $10 activation. Here's something extra that I'm going to throw in for you. When you do, because I think it's, like I said, you've been here, you're here with me. When you do go sign up, at gobigcoach.com/VIP. I'm also going to give you the last 3 months worth of calls in the member area, so you can download those. You get those recordings, as well as the last 3 months worth of focus point videos. So you're basically getting 4 months worth for the $10 activation. Plus, I'm also going to give you a couple more bonuses. So I have my 12-module Passion to Profit program, which you can use if you're looking to profit from your passion. It's great. If you're looking to just be more passionate about your life, it's also great with that. So it's a 12 module. I send you a new module each month. So if you stick with VIP, you'll keep getting modules, but at minimum, you're going to get that first module, and you can get a lot of movement in your life just from that first module. And I'm going to give you 2 more bonuses because you're here with me. Again, that link, by the way, gobigcoach.com/VIP. That's to activate your $10 trial. The other thing I'm going to give you is I have a 12 volume greatness library. These are the books that I would take with me if I could only have 12 books and I was on a desert island. So I send you a new one each month. So again, you will get that first module. You'll get that first book of the Greatness Library right away. So you're getting all this stuff right away. Now again, don't overwhelm yourself. What I would recommend is go back and listen to some of the past calls first. That's going to be really helpful to you and give you some stuff that you can take action on right away, as well as watching those focus point videos that go with the calls, right? So if you listen to a call from 3 months ago, watch that focus point video afterwards, and that'll really help sort of clarify everything and solidify it and get you like in a really strong place to take some powerful positive action from it. And then I'm going to throw in a fun sort of bonus that I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's an audio that is one of my most often requested audios because it takes you from, that point. There's a point in my life where I felt like I was so close to what I wanted. It was like I was looking at it through plexiglass, and like I could knock on the plexiglass, but I just couldn't get there. This audio is all about how I got there and how you can get there as well. So I'm giving you that as well. So that you're getting all of this extra stuff, all of those bonuses, the entire month, just for that $10 activation. The link for that is gobigcoach.com/VIP. If there's any part of you that feels like, yeah, I feel like this could be the right thing for me, even if you're like, you know what, with all these other programs that I've tried and all of that, I see how it works for other people, but they haven't worked for me. The difference most often is having someone that knows that. I know that because that's how I was, who is there in your corner saying, okay, hey, how can I personally help you? right? What can we do to get you taking action? Maybe you tell me this is what I'm working on and I help you break it down so you know what action to take. That's what I'm there for. That's it. It's a limited time trial. You can activate it today. It's a $10 trial. Normally it would be $47. It's $10 for you today. You get the entire month, and you're protected by that 30-day money-back guarantee. I hope you take me up on it. This is a really, if you are serious about taking your life to the next level, as I said, you're going to have to do some stuff, right? That's inevitable. You're going to have to push your comfort zone. That's inevitable. But if you're serious about doing this, I have made it as simple as possible. I will be there, those 3 touch points with me personally. I will be there with you, helping you every step of the way, getting to know you, getting to know where you are, where you want to go, how we can get you there, what is the right action, what's the right focus for you, how can we tweak your focus, how can we work with that, the focus spectrum and all of that stuff to really get you optimized and moving forward and finally living the life that you've been wanting to live. All right? So, I hope you take me up on this. I'm excited to get to know you, help you get where you want to go. That link again is gobigcoach.com/VIP. I have absolutely loved spending this time with you. Thank you so much for taking the time. Not just for me, it's awesome. I love to get, this is like my greatest joy is to be able to do this, but thank you for showing up for you. That's a huge thing, and I just want to point that out, because so often we're focusing on what's wrong with us. But if you showed up here today, that's huge. That shows that you are someone that is showing up for you, and you're ready to start getting some big results and doing it in a way that actually works and doesn't exhaust you, where you don't have to crush it and deplete yourself and put everything else on a back burner to do it. This is how you keep your commitments to yourself. This is how you finally start to live the life that you want to live, as opposed to waiting for it, and enjoy your life in the process. This is how you finally get to do all of that. I am here for you. I am here with you. I will see you in the program. You'll get a special email address so that you can email me personally. Again, the link to activate that special trial that I'm giving you because you're here with me today is gobigcoach.com/VIP. I will look forward to seeing you, meeting you, getting to know you, helping you personally. And that's it. Until the next time, keep going big. Bye-bye.